What's up, Aries, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, guys, so I was going to do your mid-month reading, but it was literally like the last few days of August for your August mid-month. So I wanted to just jump right to your September reading, but I want to do kind of like an overlook of what you guys went through in August, just so I can get an idea of where, the Aries energy is at right now. So let's look into what you guys were going through in the month of August before I look into September, okay? Now, for those of you who are waiting on a personal reading right now, I did announce everywhere that I actually have stopped doing personal readings. So I have been super backed up because I put so many announcements out, just letting everybody know that this was gonna be the last chance to get a reading from me. So if you guys are waiting on one, just thank you so much for being patient. And if you guys do need anything, I still offer questions, just not full readings, but just wanna keep you guys updated on that. All right, so let's look into August of 2019 for Aries. I'm just gonna pull 3 cards kind of just to get the energy of what was going on, just the gist of it before going into our September reading. Now do keep in mind, guys, that these readings are for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Aries signs. And the energy could be transferable, so it could be something you're going through or something that like another person close to you is going through. We have the 6 of coins, which is the 6 of pentacles. We have the Lover's card, and we have the Emperor. So honestly, guys, this is really good energy so far before I pull clarifiers. With 3 of coins, this is when you're building something that is honestly very good in your life, very conducive to your growth in your life. There's balance here. If there's a relationship that you guys have or someone that's very close to you, whether it's a family member, a friend, I see things going super, super well here. With the Emperor, this is you guys really making the decisions that are important and making the decisions in a very, very wise way. The Emperor does show the signs Aries and Virgo, so it can totally be you guys just coming out very strong and powerful and doing what needs to be done for the greater good of the masses, okay? So let's pull some clarifiers here. We have the King of Spears in the reverse, which in this deck, this is a Game of Thrones deck, but this is the King of Wands in the reverse. We have the 2 of Swords in the reverse. And we have the 7 of Wands in the reverse, 7 of Spears here in the reverse. So honestly, the energy is showing the Judgment card in the reverse, which is when we get to a point where we decide that overall something is not good in our lives, okay? So there could have been something, in this case, as we're adding the clarifiers, there could have been something that brought you balance. But for some of you, it's like you felt like it brought you balance, but it wasn't as genuine as you thought, even though at the time, it did bring some sort of ease just to your soul, just to your spirit. For others of you, there is something that you had to be very strong in regards to letting go of, something that was just too adverse. And because you did that, you were able to find balance in the situation. So I know I'm reading for thousands of people right now, so it's going to be either or. Either you thought something was going to be very good for you and it turned out not to be, so you had to let that go, or because you let something go, you found balance and you found something that was good for you. All right, so I'm going to pull 3 cards more, just kind of advice for, or just whatever the cards want to say about August, because I always end the monthly and mid-month readings with some advice. So let's just see what the cards have to say for you guys in regards to what you went through, and then we'll go on with the regular reading. We have the Chariot in the reverse. We have the 4 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Spears, which is the 4 of Wands here. Full card in the reverse. So honestly, guys, there was something that you could no longer accept. All right, something that was out of your control at this point, that if you would have continued moving forward with it, there would have been a lot of bumps in the road that you came across. And it's like you actually have stability by choosing not to go towards this. We have the 10 of Spears, which is the 10 of Wands. We have the 2 of Cups. And we have the Fool card in the reverse. So for a lot of you, the majority, just from the energies that I'm seeing, It could have been that something did seem good, it did seem fair, it did seem like something solid in your life, but it turned out, you know, having a different face. This could have been you towards someone else. It could have been someone else towards you, just something that was very burdening, but something that was probably very close to you that had to end. Okay? With the Hermit card in the reverse, it's showing that this was something that you probably didn't have all the facts on this that you needed. Or maybe someone didn't have all the facts about you and they were kind of like surprised by things that came out. So I'm seeing just something that was out of your control that you kind of had to move away from. And for a lot of you, maybe it could have been difficult because it was something that was, you know, just closely tied into your life and just your everyday, you know, living. So let's get into this actual September reading. So we're going to take a past, present, and future look. Again, guys, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, Aries signs. I know that I always talk about my Instagram High Vibrations 44, but I did create a new one, guys, because I do want to separate my personal just from anything like tarot related. So it's High Vibrations Tarot now on Instagram, and then I also opened Twitter up again. I haven't used it in years, so like bear with me. But my new Instagram is Bruja Shit. So you guys could actually go into the description below, and I will put all that information there so you guys can find me if you have any of those social medias. All right, so what is going on with the sign of Aries? September 2019. I feel like the summer absolutely flew, but I feel like the summer was so crucial for so many of us because whether it was an uncomfortable or comfortable truth you came across, I feel like a lot of us did, you know, purging in regards to things that just wasn't working out. And, you know, just from talking to a lot of people in the collective, a lot of people went through a lot of changes, a lot of people went through a lot of hard times, but it's something that led to like peace of mind. So I really hope that that's what you guys experienced, you know, just from the summer in general. All right, guys. So the energy that we have here is a star card, all right? So that's very beautiful. When you guys have the star card, this is wish fulfillment. This is something very great that you've been desiring, you know, it comes into your life. And you have the Ace of Coins followed by the Two of Cups in the reverse. So this is kind of going off what we talked about for August, all right? You dropped something that wasn't working out for you, whether it was a job, a person, a friendship, whatever. And you go towards something that is fulfilling a lot of wishes that you have, but with the Ace of Coins, you have to keep in mind that this is not something that's just going to show up into your life overnight. This is something that you're gonna have to slowly build it, but because you take the time to build it, because you take the time to put a solid foundation, it's like you're not building this on sand, you're building this on concrete. So it definitely shows you guys going towards something that's going to be magnificent for you. Again, that wish fulfillment for you, but this is not something that you should expect overnight. This is something that you take your time, you tend to it day by day, but because you take your time and you take that approach, it has longevity in your life. And at the end of the day, you know, that's what a lot of people want, just something that they can rely on, okay? Now, let's start with your past, guys. The first card that you have here is the Justice card in the reverse. So something that was unfair. For some people, this could be cheating in a relationship. For others, this could be maybe something in court, you know, that you're going through and the decision wasn't made in your favor, okay? Things like that. So let's see why this Justice card is here in the reverse. We have the Queen of Spears in the reverse, which in this deck is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. It was confusing because when you see spear, you think swords, but it's actually wands in this, so catching up to Game of Thrones tarot. And then we have the Tower card here, guys. So honestly, there's a huge change. When you see the Tower card, the ground beneath you just, it's like someone rips it from beneath you. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. In this case, someone's pissed. Someone's pissed off, and someone's saying, look, with the Nine of Wands in the reverse and the Five of Swords in the reverse, I fucking give up. I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. This was just too much for me. This had way too much adversity. A change has to happen. Your next card is the Four of Swords in the reverse. So this is a very important card because this talks about, especially when it's in the upright, this is someone who kind of like takes a mental break. They take a hiatus. You know, what's the next step in life? What do I do? Kind of asking those very important existential questions. When it's in the reverse, it's like, you know what? I figured out what I have to do. Now it's time to move past this, okay? So you guys are mentally moving past something. You know you mentally have to move past something, even if you're not physically doing it at the time. But mentally it's there. So let's see why this Four of Swords is here in the reverse. We have the Sun card in the reverse. Let me just lower this music a little bit, guys. We have the Sun card in the reverse, and we have the Knight of Coins, Okay. So with the Knight of Coins, for some of you, this could be a Taurus or a Capricorn energy that you were dealing with at this time. For others of you, this could just be the approach that you were taking towards something. The Knight of Pentacles, or Knight of Coins rather, is someone who is very methodical. They take their time with things. And sometimes they could be the slowest moving knight, but it's the knight that makes the least mistakes because they really take time to look into what they're doing. With the Sun card in the reverse, it's one of two things for you guys. Either there was something here that you had to move past that was blocking blessings for you, or there's some unexpected blessings that come in, or unexpected news that comes in, but something that just comes out of nowhere. All right, with your last card here, you have the Knight of Wands in the reverse, or the Knight of Spears in the reverse with this deck. So if this comes, if this comes to love, this is going to be a player card. Someone that may be a great talker, but they can't really be trusted. Someone who's very flirty. They usually have multiple partners, that sort of thing. If it has nothing to do with that, with the Knight of Wands, again, they're always going to have that very charismatic air to them. But it's not someone that can necessarily be relied on. This is that friend that like strongly convinces you, oh, I know you have open crib this weekend, and let's throw a huge party. I promise I'm gonna help you clean. I promise I'm gonna help you with everything. But it's the type of person that literally just shows up for the party, and before you could even look for them to clean, they're already gone with like some random person they're hooking up with. So it's just a person that they can talk the talk, but when it comes down to doing what needs to be done, they're kind of just shitty about it. All right, so with the Ace of Cups in the reverse, something could have ended because of this sort of energy. So let's see why this is there. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse. And you guys have the Ten of Swords in the reverse. And I promise you guys, I really, really shuffled this deck before doing this. I know a lot of people get so offended when Lissette pulls reversals. But guys, again, I'm not going to tell people how to read or the proper way to do it. But not all reversals are bad. They're actually, most of them are actually positive. And if you don't read them, you're getting a whole different story. So how can you trust it? You got to trust what falls. All right. So hopefully you guys are with me still. Now with the Ten of Swords in the reverse, guys, the worst that could have happened in a situation is past you. But you can't move forward with this anymore. There's just something that's not trustworthy about this. There's just something that's not, strong with this situation. So again, with that Nine of Swords in the reverse, it's time to let go. Okay. So let's look at the present moment, guys. The first card that we have, Three of Cups in the reverse. Okay, with the Three of Cups in the reverse, it could be a few things. It could be a third-party situation in love where somebody's juggling lovers. It could be a depression, whether it's light or heavy, that a person's going through. It could be not wanting to go out as much, not wanting to be in a social scene and kind of keeping to yourself, kind of being in like hermit mode. So let's see what this is saying. World card in the reverse. And you have the Chariot. So there's something that is currently still in your life that needs to be closed out. For some of you, it could just be mentally there, or you emotionally still feel it there, so that's where it can like still be unresolved. But you're at a place where you decide that something is a bad idea, and because of that, you start manifesting in a different direction. And there is going to be something with the Chariot that really takes off for you. This is a very positive card because this is showing that something's going to happen very quickly in your life and you're going to be in control of it. For some of you, this could be travel. For others of you, this could be just moving location, whether it's, vacation wise, or moving jobs where you work, moving, where you live. But yeah, something really, really quick happening. But you have the Queen of Swords in the reverse. You have the Death card here as the energy, at the bottom of the deck right now. So whether it's you or somebody else involved, obviously there's something that really, really needs to end, but there's going to be someone here that is extremely on edge, and it's like they just don't want to be fucked with. Just be careful though, because with the Queen of Swords in the reverse, yes, this is someone who's going to be very protective of themselves, but the Queen of Swords in the reverse is also someone who could be very prone to adding fuel to the fire. So even if a situation is messy or it just doesn't feel good, there's no need to make it worse than what it already is. So if that's you who could be doing that, and you have to be honest with yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I adding fuel to this fire? But if you do feel like that's coming from you, just definitely be realistic with just the energies that you have in life. Do you want more drama because of this, or do you just kind of want to move past this? There's only certain things that we can control in people and in situations. So sometimes it's not worth the extra energy that we would have to exert to, get a point across to a person who doesn't matter, right? All right, so the next card that we have, guys, for your present moment, and this is also the center card for your reading, so this is what every energy is going to tap into. We have the Page of Cups here. So with the Page of Cups, for some of you, maybe there's a water sign involved, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but the Page of Cups, this is a very, this is kind of like a very, very sweet communicator. Somebody who speaks about things in, in a very passionate way, something that they're very, just very tapped into. The Page of Cups is going to be someone who can speak about something in a very charismatic way. So there's definitely something here that either, it's some sort of offer that's coming in, or that you guys are putting out, or just something that you're building, something that you're working on. So let's see why this is here. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Five of Coins. So here, there may be some sort of offer coming in, but honestly, guys, it's an illusion. There's something here that can't be trusted. With the Page of Swords, and then you have the Five of Cups, with whatever this is, there's going to be an honest conversation that's had, okay? And with this honest conversation, it doesn't even matter what the offer is, or what this person is saying, or how good it sounds, whether it's coming from you or someone around you, but there's going to be a realization that, nah, I can't do this, and I have to, take the loss on this one. And with all of this happening, you have the Temperance card and you have the Judgment card in the reverse, which means overall you see something as a bad thing, and your soul is thankful for you seeing it that way. Your soul is actually at ease with you not going towards something, okay? The last card that you guys have for this present moment is the King of Swords in the reverse. This is my least favorite card in tarot, okay? Because this is someone who can be abusive mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally, somebody who's just very narcissistic, someone that they don't give a fuck about anybody else. They just care about how can they get what they need. They don't care about how other people are going to react. They don't care about if it's going to hurt you, if it's going to make you happy. They don't give a crap. It's just, how do I get what I need? I don't care who I have to walk over. Okay, so 97% of the time is going to be someone who's just very malicious, that leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and they're going out to intentionally harm people. But there is going to be that 3% of the time where this is going to be someone that has actually been battered up and just bruised up, whether it's physically or just metaphorically, and now they can't take it anymore. And they're protecting themselves, and it seems very, very extreme, but it's like, no, my situation called for it. So it's kind of like, the best example I have for the King of Swords in the reverse is, let's say, for example, there's a dog that somebody owns, and it's the sweetest dog ever, and the person just keeps beating the dog and beating the dog and beating the dog, and the dog just cries and cries and cries. So this person always has. I'm getting so sad. I shouldn't use examples this morbid, but yeah. So just think of kind of like an helpless animal, and then one day this person goes to hit the animal, and the animal's like, wait, no, I don't want this to happen anymore. So the animal actually bites, and now the person who hit that animal is like, oh, did you guys see that? Did you see that it bit? And it's just like, well, did you not see the abuse that you've been giving it for the past 2 months? So either this is going to be someone who's just a straight up asshole and wants malicious things to happen to people, and they're just going to bring a lot of bad vibes, or it's just someone that sorry about that, guys. So my computer just ran out of space, so I had to delete a few things to keep this reading going. But yeah, going back to that King of Swords in the reverse, again, this is either going to be a person who's very, very malicious, or someone that is just like, I can't take it anymore. And even if they look like a jerk, even if they look like an asshole, it's just like, look, I've been put between a rock and a hard place, and it's either protect myself or get out of this, even if I look, bad for doing it, or I just get walked all over, okay? So let's see why this King of Swords is here. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Ten of Cups. Because of someone who decides to be this extreme, it actually brings happiness in. I feel like someone is being selfish towards their happiness, and in this case, that's not a bad thing, okay? You have the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups here, so there's a lot of water energy, guys. So some of you can be dealing with the Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. If it has nothing to do with that, then somebody here is working towards emotional fulfillment, okay? And they're gonna do it at any cost. Now, there's balance here. There's wish fulfillment coming in here. There's something new coming in here with the Ace of Coins. So let's talk about your future. The first card that you guys have is the Two of Coins. What do you want? You're trying to weigh out, just what's going to be best in the situation, the pros and cons in the situation. You have the Magician, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. So although you're in a place where you're debating what it is that you want to do, things actually move forward for you in a very good way. So maybe you're indecisive as, you know, in regards to what it is that becomes available to you, but it's something that's going to be within your reach and something that's going to be very good for you. And with the Magician there, you don't need anything or anyone else. Anything that you need to make this happen can all come from you, okay? Again, balance is staying at the bottom of this with the Six of Coins. The next card you guys have for the future is Ten of Wands in the reverse. So that heavy energy that you felt, you know, just feeling like the world was on your shoulders, that's going away. We have the Judgment card in the reverse. So you realize that something's bad judgment, and because you do, you release a huge burden that comes in, and you guys have the King of Cups. So for a lot of you, maybe this is a water sign that you're moving away from, but for a lot of you, this could be a water sign that's actually helping you, because the water sign hasn't come up in a reversal at all. So for those of you that have people around you that are water energy, or just, you know, kind of exude a water energy, or just has it heavily in their charts, then I can see that actually being helpful for you. But there is going to be that percentage of you that maybe you're moving away from this person. And if you are part of the, you know, the percentage that could be moving away from a water energy, then I will say that I don't feel that this is necessarily something where a person is, you know, coming, you know, just kind of coming for you. I feel like it's a sort of thing where there's two people that they might not mix well together, but it doesn't make them bad people. It's like they're good people separately, but just the energies they bring about each other can bring out bad things, okay? So, you know, if it has to do with love or anything like that, keep that in mind. So it's kind of like looking back at your life. Like I have terrible experiences when it comes to dating, as I'm sure we all do. But honestly, I will say at the end of the day that nobody was actually a really, really bad person. It's just that our energies together could have really made, you know, us bring out the worst in each other. So again, if this is someone that's not good for your life, I see it as just that they're probably not so bad on their own, but there's just something that's not working here. Okay, but there is something that you guys are trying to build here, but this is going to come when you remove yourself from whatever you're dealing with. You have the Hermit card and you have the Eight of Spears in the reverse, which is the Eight of Wands in the reverse in this case. So something just has to be cut off. And the last card that you guys have for the future is the Four of Cups in the reverse. So there is something that you are accepting into your life, or some sort of offer that you're making that is going to be accepted. We have the Two of Cups in the reverse. And the Ace of, these cards are like flying. The Ace of Swords in the reverse. So honestly, you guys are just accepting that in order for something to build for you, you have to let go of something. And for a lot of you, I don't feel like this is something that you could kind of just like walk away from. I feel like this is something where it's like you're gonna have to say a few words. You're gonna have to put in your last 2 cents. It's kind of like something that's between that, you know, black and white area where you're kind of in the gray. Okay, but it's something that you know needs to be let go of. Okay, so I'm gonna pull you guys some cards of guidance, some cards of advice, just to see the best direction for you guys to take with this. Let's see what comes up. All right, what advice can I give to the sign of Aries for September of 2019? All right, so you guys got the King of Coins or King of Pentacles in the reverse, the Hierophant, and you have the Emperor in the reverse. Okay, the energy that you have here is the Nine of Swords. So I'm gonna, you know, definitely clarify this in a moment, but with just what I'm seeing here, either someone's not being honest with you guys, maybe you're not being honest with them, or someone's just not being honest to themselves. Okay, because there's something here where either you're losing money or there's just not a genuine interest in it anymore, whether that lack of interest comes from you or against someone around you or an environment around you. And I just see you guys really, really in your head about this and kind of feeling debilitated by this. Now, when the Hierophant comes out, you know, this is my actual favorite card in tarot, but when this Hierophant comes out, this talks about something in our lives that's I mean, it can mean a lot of things, but overall, something in our lives that can help us to be a better person, that can help us to, you know, achieve our highest potential. So let me just pull some clarifiers and see why these cards are here. Why is this King of Coins in the reverse here? We have the Fool card in the reverse, okay. Why is this Hierophant here? Queen of Cups in the reverse, okay. The Emperor, why is it here? We have the Queen of Swords, okay. Again, the Nine of Swords stays at the bottom. So you guys are really in your head. You guys are overthinking right now. When the Nine of Swords comes up, you're usually worried about things that haven't even happened. You're just creating all these scenarios in your head. This is going to be a time where you need to be honest. Honestly, for a lot of you, the path that you're going to have to take is the path that could hurt you in some way, shape, or form, or disappoint you in some way, shape, or form. But that's the path that you're meant to take. So with the Queen of Swords here, this could mean that there's a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini involved, but I really just feel that someone comes into this sort of energy where it's just like, I'm gonna put a barrier between me and anything that can derail me from what I actually need in life. Okay, so someone who's just very protective over themselves. But what I could say is that if there's something that's losing you money, or if there's something that you know you're genuinely not invested in your life, it's a terrible idea. It's something that causes more road bumps in the future to come in. So it's something that, you know, you could move away from. And if you don't move away from it, it literally just brings more problems, okay? So you have to be honest with yourself. If that's not you having a nonchalant attitude towards someone or something in your life, then guess what? They have that towards you. And we have to be real with ourselves. And I think the most important thing that everyone needs to really master in life is picking up on social cues. It gets me so mad when I see someone being played so heavily and they're just like so like, you know, in their head about it, and their head is in the clouds about it, and they're just like, no, maybe they were busy last week. And it's like, no, it shouldn't take a person a week to text you back, you know, that sort of thing. So be honest with yourself. Okay, whether this comes to dating or where you work or, you know, some sort of project that you're involved in, are you genuinely needed? You will know when you're genuinely needed. You will know when you're genuinely loved. You will know when you're genuinely cared for. If you feel any lack of that, you gotta go. Okay, so whether it's coming from you, this lack of genuinity, or if it's coming from somebody else, it just has to go. All right, so you guys really have to look in the mirror and just be very, very, very honest with what it is, you know, you have to decide here. And don't be afraid if the path that you have to take is hurtful. Just rip the Band-Aid off, because when cards like the Hierophant or just any major arcana, you know, when any of these cards come up, it shows something that it's like a solid stage or phase that comes into your life that at most the only thing you can really do is avoid it for a little bit, but it's gonna happen regardless. So with the Hierophant coming up, it's either you rip the Band-Aid off and do what needs to be done now, or you kind of just let it kind of just blow up in your face, and then you have no choice but to do what the Hierophant wanted you to do or go in that direction. So Aries, just a need for you guys to really be honest with yourself here, okay? So guys, this is solid. I think that this is a very clear message, and I'll be back with your September mid-month readings to just, you know, see what's going on with this. But again, guys, thank you so much for all of you that have been, you know, just getting personal readings or anything like that. It's definitely been such a crazy journey. Again, I know I let everybody know this, but the reason why I am quitting personal readings is just because I just went through so much this summer. And for the first time, you know, in like 2.5 years of doing personal readings, I honestly, like, I just needed to take a step back. I needed to breathe. I needed to heal. I needed to just kind of just get my shit together. And it kind of broke my heart that I didn't have that luxury. There's a lot of people angry. And when I would tell them, look, I went through something heavy, I don't fucking care. Again, cut me off. But so yeah, they would kind of have that approach of, I don't care what you're going through, I don't care about anything, I need this now, like I don't give a fuck what you say. And I was just met with such animosity at a time where I really just needed to heal. So if there is anyone waiting on a reading right now, you guys are the lucky ones. You know, you were able to get a reading before I completely quit. So guys, please just be patient with me. I'm really trying to avoid answering emails of, hey, where's my reading, because I end up spending like 3 hours a day responding to those emails as opposed to actually doing readings. So, you know, in a day where I could have gotten 15-20 readings out, I didn't because I was answering emails instead. So if you guys are waiting for anything, only email me if you need to update me on something that's going on. But just know it slows me down if I have to like kind of look in my book and be like, okay, where's their name? And I kind of just go, and it wastes so much time. So I hope everybody understands, you know, it was just such a fun run. I've read for so many people in the past 2.5 years. I've met people all over the world. So I think that's incredible. But yeah, it's time for me to kind of take on a new journey and just discover myself in different ways, and I'm really excited for that. So the day I do my last reading, I'm going to like I'm gonna throw a party, honestly, and it's just gonna be such a huge weight taken off my shoulders. So just understand that, guys, I am one person and I'm dealing with hundreds of requests right now. So if you know are waiting for it, please be patient, but I still do offer questions, guys. I get those out within about 5 business days. I try to do it sooner, but I'm here. All right, and if you guys want to follow me on social media, all of it is in the description below. My Twitter, my Instagrams, all that stuff. Take care, Aries. I love you guys.